All right, let's look at this one. I have if the measure of angle QOS is 51, the measure of angle POR is 65, and the measure of angle POQ is 26. What is the measure of angle ROS? Well, to do that, we're just going to start labeling what each of those are. So QOS in red here means I start at Q, I go to O, and I go to S. So that's from here. These are the two rays that generate that. Those are 51. POR means I start at P, go all the way down, and then I come up to R. So from here to here, and in purple we're going to put 65. And then I have in blue POQ is 26. So that is from here to here. We can put that a little closer to make it a little easier to see what I'm talking about. So P to O to Q, and that is 26. And we're looking for ROS, so let me put that in green. So we're going to start at R, go to O, go to S. So we want to know what is that angle right there in green. So let's look at this. And the reason I like to color code these is I can start looking at my lines here, and I can see, is there a combination of lines, thinking back to the segment addition postulate, where if I start on one of the exterior rays and then I go to the other exterior ray, can I add two of these segments together to encompass the entire range here? Well, it's a good thing we did color code this, or it's a good thing we did mark these. Because if I look at my blue starts here and ends here, and my red picks up right where it left off and then goes the full distance. So I can say that POQ plus my red, which is QOS, is equal to the whole thing, POS. Let's actually put POS in a different color that we haven't used yet. So now I can start making appropriate substitutions that I do have available to me. And the first one is that POQ is 26 degrees. My second one is that QOS is 51 degrees. And if I add those together, I get POS. So that is going to give me 77 degrees. Now I know that POS, let me go back to this color. So if I start at P and I go all the way to S, this whole thing is 77 degrees. Now I'm going to look at, is there something I know that I can subtract from 77 to get just this little piece right here? Well, if I start here, let me go to purple. Let's look at our purple line. I'm starting here and I'm ending here. So if I know that the whole thing is this, I'm going to call it orange line, and I subtract out my purple line, I'll be left with just my green line. So let's try that. So I'm going to do POS minus my purple line, which was POR, and that's blue, and that will equal ROS. And that's what we're looking for. So when I get this answer, I will have it. So POS is 77, and POR is 65. And whatever the difference between 77 and 65 is ROS's value. So ROS is 12. Now how do we check that? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, does my POQ, which is blue, plus my red, so let's switch to red, which is 51. All right, those two together makes the whole thing. So if I do that and then I subtract my green value or my ROS value of 12, right? I've added the blue and the red together, so I've now gotten this whole thing. And I'm going to subtract out my purple value, and you can see there that I didn't quite make it there. So if I get 12 there, then I am good to go. Or if my equation balances. So my purple value was 65. Let's switch to purple. If this equals 65, then I have shown that my blue line plus my red line gives me the entire angle. And if I pull out my green line that I found, if I get one of my other given angles, right, my 65, then I have done this correctly. So I'm going to bring up the calculator. And I'm going to do 26 plus 51 minus 12, and I get 65. And as we all know, 65 is in fact equal to 65. So we've checked it, we've done it visually, we've done it algebraically, and that is a pretty good way to know that we've gotten it right, and that's a pretty good way to do a problem like this. I'm going to always suggest that you map out your angles in different colors, or at least in different lines, and then start thinking about the segment addition postulate. If one ends where the next one begins, we can add them together and get the whole thing. Now, I'll be honest, this was a little bit more than it actually needed to be, but visually it's really good for us, right? The blue plus the red, and then if I take out the green, right, because I've doubled up here, I should get the purple. And because visually that makes sense to me, then mathematically it's going to check out, because we've built this whole problem on what we're looking at visually.